Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and I am pleased to announce that Roman Reigns is gonna be on Raw. Thank God for that. Now, I understand it's not an official return. He's just gonna be there to update us on his leukemia, so says Vince McMahon on his Twitter account. Now, after the last episode of Raw, just seeing everybody just coming in from developmental, and I don't want to hear anybody that it's not really developmental because it's NXT, and there's already like veterans there. It's developmental. One way or the other, they're not deemed ready for TV or the main roster. Now, it's debatable about whether or not certain people are. Obviously, people like EC3 were ready for it. Obviously, people like Ricochet weren't, but, we are here to talk about them a little bit, but we're here mostly to talk about Roman Reigns, and we're here to talk about his star power that he brings to the show. And if there is one thing that this fucking company needs in this show, it's star power. Not that they don't have the potential to have it, but at least we have some established people like Roman Reigns. Now, I think that obviously this is probably going to be good news. I hope that we hear that maybe Roman Reigns will, be back in time maybe for like a big event or a show or something like that sometime soon. I hope that's what we're going to hear. I really doubt it's going to be bad news. I don't think that they'd bring him out there to tell us some bad news, but I'm pretty sure that it is going to be something good, maybe some possibility on a return, and I'm looking forward to hearing that the guy's doing better. Now, I'm sure there's probably a lot of other people and the so-called people, the phonies who hated Reigns and wished death upon him even. They're all gonna come back and say, "Oh, I'm so happy by the news," because they, it would be wrong to say that about, a sick man. So, obviously, it was a bunch of phonies last October. And, here we are, headed into March of 2019. And, WrestleMania is right around the corner. So, wouldn't that be awesome if Reigns was, like, ready to go for Mania? But I highly doubt it. Some people are speculating on that, but I don't think so. I don't think that he's going to get right back in the ring after battling something like that. Right off the cusp of it. Maybe later on in the year. Maybe when we're more, like, midway through at the very, very least. But I would expect that if he's going to say that, maybe it's in remission right now, maybe we might hear that he might be back later in the year, just being realistic with you. I mean, because he did have a pretty aggressive form of leukemia from what I heard. And, hey, whatever. Any good news is good news. So, with that portion out of the way, and we obviously, most of us anywhere, hoping that Roman Reigns is doing well. And to all the people that said that it might be a work, this is what I'm saying. I mean, this is why I can't anymore, when it comes to certain respects. This is why I don't even have the energy to rant on certain things and all the theories like I used to. That's why I mostly try to address these things like in the Raw reviews and SmackDown reviews, because I just can't go on for like 20 minutes doing a video on what all these goofballs say and shit like that. That's just, if you're gonna say that, that's a work, I mean, then you're obviously just not using your common sense. But anyway, so let's talk about this star power and everything. Why we need Reigns on the roster, and why you goofballs need to realize this already, to all the naysayers and the Roman Reigns haters and everybody like that. Thing is, we already saw on Raw, the Johnny Garganos of the world, the fucking, tomato chompers of the world, the old Tabasco sauce over there, Rico shit, I mean, a Ricochet, all these people out there, we gotta, realize that Like, who are these people? Now, I know there's people like, you know, Tabasco sauce is God. You know, there's all these people out there. Johnny Gargano is wrestling. I mean, like, I'm sorry, guys, but for all the Johnny Gargano fans out there, I just have to say this. Like, if you're saying that that is wrestling, if that is wrestling right there, then wrestling is definitely fucking dead. It's gone. It's buried. It's 6 feet under. The Undertaker has already put the last, you know, piece of dirt that he's going to shovel on top of that, you know, desecrated corpse. I mean, obviously, I mean, look at Johnny Gargano. Listen to the promos that this guy cut. I mean, if you're still saying that this guy is wrestling, Mr. Wrestling, you know, Johnny Wrestling, yeah, that's what they call him, Johnny Wrestling. I mean, those old sing-song chants from Ring of Honor. I mean, honestly, I went to the shows back in 05 and 06, you know, and they're still doing them now over a decade later. I mean, give it a rest, guys. The days of ROH are long gone. That's, you know, that, like, popular thing of, you know, that's what I'm saying. It's like, right now, people are acting like the indies are like the in thing. First of all, no wrestling is the in thing anymore. It was a little bit when WWE started to be not as good, you know, as we started to get later into the 2000s, and it was cool to check out some alternatives, and I will admit, Ring of Honor was new, and you did have the CM Punks of the world. You had the Nigel McGuinnesses, you know, Austin Aries was there, and, you know, of course, Daniel Bryan, you know, when they were all there, you know, and you had the Jimmy Jacobs and all the little storylines, and the Prince Nanas, who, for anyone who is not ever seen Prince Nana, if you want to talk about, like, entertaining managers and, you know, guys that know how to work a crowd, I just have to say that it is honestly a crime that a Prince Nana has not, you know, been allowed on a bigger stage than Ring of Honor. But, you know, I'm just saying that it was, you know, cool for then for an alternative to WWE when it was still, you know, somewhat new. But now to be a fan of indies and tout it and wear your AEW shirts proudly in your videos here on YouTube, it's not cool. Quite frankly, I would go so far as to say it's a little bit sad, because especially when it's people around my age who've already, you know, experienced years and decades of wrestling, you know, such as me, and, you know, we've already lived several decades on this planet. We should really come to terms that this shit's not good and that it's not getting any better based on some pretty obvious context clues, such as, why hasn't there been another wrestling boom period in about 20 years? Really, you know, very perplexing there. You know, I mean, honestly, it's not perplexing at all. You shouldn't be scratching your head. You shouldn't be having to reach out to phone a friend, a lifeline, or anything like that. You shouldn't have to Google it to really understand what's going on here. No one gives a shit because it sucks. It's horrible. Would have been something different if maybe they changed the whole product. And like I said, you know, if maybe they tried to work in some of their, you know, what they show us on social media. You know, if they showed us their real lives and, you know, or started basing some of the storylines, still kayfabe it and made it somewhat, you know, relevant to their real lives. I mean, this is what I don't understand. Why are we showing all this shit on, like, Total Divas and on Instagram, and, you know, and then acting like they're characters in real life? Now, I know people can make the argument, okay, why does Sylvester Stallone act in movies, but, you know, on Instagram he'll post as himself? Well, okay, but, you know, this is a little bit different. Sylvester Stallone doesn't tour around all year playing the same character or person, so it would make more sense that to live that life of who you are, you know, because it's not a movie. It is a show, but it's different. It truly is. It's a different form of entertainment. And even though I say, yes, why shouldn't we write the show like a TV show? Do that, but incorporate some elements of real life. What shows on TV don't incorporate elements of real life? Like I said, even shows like The Walking Dead still are relevant to real life. They might be in a zombie apocalypse, but there's still elements, you know, of real life, like characters that are in love. You know, they act like they're in love. They talk like real people. They don't have them talk like robots or like using language that no one uses in the real world. Like I'm saying, you see that these wrestlers are like regular people. You know, they're taking selfies, they're posting relationship photos, they're giving their thoughts online. You know, some even go so far as posting their political views. I mean, so it's like to then turn on Raw and then see like, you know, just Braun Strowman going, you know, when this guy is like, you know, posting about bullying and stuff like that, and then he's posting himself at the gun range. It's like a total disconnect. Like, we all know he's not the monster, because chances are, if you were a fan of Strowman, you know, and if you were a super fan of Strowman, you would probably follow him on, you would follow Adam Shear, right, on Instagram. I think that's his last name. And you would soon see that it's a work. That's not really how, you know, there is no Braun Strowman. It's Adam. And Adam is, you know, not a monster. He doesn't flip over limos. You know, he works out vigorously. He does a good job of it. He looks great. But, you know, you'd see that, you know, he's not really this, like, super temperamental, you know, monster that can't be contained, that's been unleashed on society. No, he's quite the opposite, actually. You know, so I don't understand, you know, the voice and all this. It just, like, it needs to stop. It needs to go away. At least when Roman Reigns talks on TV, he doesn't sound like a goofball anymore. You know, they've let some of Roman Reigns shine through. And I still believe that what they really should have done is just have Roman Reigns come out there. I mean, honestly, when everyone was booing the shit out of him, he should have just, like, really turned to the crowd and just been like, you guys are pathetic. You know, you really are. I mean, like, you're sitting there, you paid money for this show to get yourselves over. This is awesome. Imagine if he mocked them, like, in their voice and those chants, what? This is awesome. You know, and all that. He would have been like, guys, you know, look at you. You're all ugly. You're virgins. You're pathetic. You know, you're unintelligent. You know, you have nothing original to say. You know, you're here just to heckle a bunch of wrestlers. You don't even enjoy the show. Why are you here? Go, you know, there's like so much potential to flip off the crowd. I mean, just so many ways to draw heat. And obviously, if, like I said, if he said any of that stuff that I said right there, that would draw immediate interest to the product, especially since they haven't done anything like that in years. And, you know, to have a really, really aggressive heel. I mean, like, we have plenty of heels on the show, but they're all a bunch of cowards. They're just all these cartoonish heels where, you know, like, seriously, some of the heels in cartoons definitely were better. I mean, you know, at least, I mean, you watch, you know, Wile E. Coyote. I mean, you know, at least he's putting in an entertaining performance. He's not running away from the Roadrunner. He's running to him. You know, he's going to get that motherfucker, man. Now, he might not succeed in the end, you know, because evil never triumphs over good. So, you know, but I'm saying, like, there's an example right there. That's a good heel right there. And he's not even fucking real. And he's doing a better job. You know, see, so what I'm saying, so when the wrestlers are looking worse than cartoon characters, you know that we've got a fucking problem. So yeah, so Roman Reigns isn't perfect. But, you know, when I'm looking at guys that just don't look the part, like Johnny Gargano, and you know, this Tabasco sauce guy, I mean, yeah, it's just, I mean, I just don't know what people see in it. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, you've got a bunch of people on here Know a lot of my subs are right along with me. It's mostly why they're subbed to this channel. You know, they agree with what I have to say. And it's okay if you disagree. I enjoy it. That's, you know, it would be boring if everybody agree with me. But the thing is here, it's like you gotta think. You know, all these people saying, oh, you guys are stupid. Johnny Gargano's great. You know, and all that stuff. It's like you gotta understand that it's a very vocal minority. The What Culture crowd, you know, these goofballs. Like, first of all, if I could, about What Culture here for a moment. Like, don't they realize, like, over on What Culture, that the only person that anyone wants to see, and you see up and down in the comments, is they want to see Simon. They don't want to see all these other, like, you know, soy boy, beta male, goofball Adams. They're all named Adam. Adam. And there's one guy named Simon that's actually good. And everybody's on there, you know, with their pretentious, annoying accents and all that. It's just ridiculous. So, you know, those are the people right there. And what's that guy's name? Jules. Jules from What Culture? Jules. I mean, God, like, what's the... So you got a bunch of Adams and you got somebody called Jules on there. Anyway, those people represent... That's why I mention them so much in these videos. Not to put them over, but, you know, I'll put Simon over because I like him and I like his videos. I disagree with him a lot of the time, but he seems like a pretty cool guy. And he doesn't seem as, like, soy boyish as some of the other goofballs out there on What Culture. Like Jules and the Adams, like the fucking 53 Adams that worked there after the... I don't get that. There's an Adam that quit, you know, the main Adam, and then he quits, and then like 50 other Adams take his place. It's like an Adam-a-thon. It's like, you know, get someone with a different fucking name there. You're gonna have every employee named Adam. It's like going to a job, like getting hired at a job and then realizing that everyone is named Jim. And then your name is Jules. Like, okay, so it's besides the point. We're getting a bit sidetracked here. But, you know, anyway, like, that's the perfect, like, right there. You look at all those guys from What Culture when the videos when they put them all up on there and show you the staff. I mean, that's the crowd. That's the audience. That's who's watching. Shouldn't be appealing to those people anymore. Those are the people telling you that you're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. This product is great. You know, this is like, you know, I'm looking at What Culture. You know, the 2015, the year that changed wrestling. Yeah, the year when the shit really started to hit the fan and it really started to become mega overwhelming garbage. I mean, honestly, I mean, you could go even further back than this. I mean, this stuff hasn't been good in a very long time. Hasn't been good in a very, very long time. I mean, it hasn't even been decent in a very long time. I mean, if you can't even consider... Imagine this. You can't even consider yourselves to be decent, for God's sakes. Holy fucking cow. So, you know, it's just, overall, all this stuff I'm saying, why it's relevant here is because to look at Roman Reigns on Raw and to see a guy that actually looks the part, sounds the part, and just overall, like, when I see him, he looks like a wrestler. And he just looks like a top guy. And when you've got the Garganos of the world, like, I'll admit, you know, I kind of went off on him, but I really do like, you know, in a Raw review, but I kind of take it back. I really do like Aleister Black a lot. I do like the guy's look and everything. I was just pissed that he beat Elias, so I might have said a few things that you could disregard pretty much. You know, I said that Midian did a better job than him. You know, so I take that back. You know, sometimes I'm wrong when I say. Sometimes I get a little annoyed because I'm a big Elias fan, and I don't like seeing the guy jobbed out like he is. But I shouldn't blame that, you know, and take it out on... I wasn't blaming Aleister Black for Elias's loss. That's obviously how they wrote the show. I'm always the first one to point that out more than the other goofballs here on YouTube. I'm always the first one to admit that it's fake and that it's not the wrestler's fault most of the time for what transpires. Except Sasha Banks ending Paige's career. That's besides the point. You know, so anyway. And Nia Jax for, you know, punching Becky Lynch in the face. You know, and a few others, you know, but like I said, it's besides the point, right? Yeah, Sasha Banks, dangerous worker. But, you know, the thing is, you know, you've got a lot of, just big mistakes happening. So yeah, so you know, it's the thing is sometimes I get upset at the show and I might say things that I don't mean about it. And one of those things was Aleister Black, because I think he is a good guy. I just don't think that they should have him going over a person like Elias. It's just, it's crazy that I, you know, found out from watching Vince Russo's podcast. He was doing some research, and he found out that including NXT and NXT UK and all developmental people and people that they're not using on TV and on the main roster, there's actually like over there's like 250 wrestlers employed by them right now. And out of all those fucking people, they chose not only Elias, who I'm a fan of, but on a much smaller scale, I like Andrade, you know, and they just fucking jobbed him out too at total random, especially after they had the guy beat Rey Mysterio and tried to protect him in the 2 out of 3 falls match by not having a decision at the end. So, you know, I was just very disappointed. But Aleister Black is a good talent, and, you know, anyway, I'm just saying that after this week, which gave me a fucking headache, and, you know, if you want to see how much of a headache that it did cause me, you could check out both my Raw and SmackDown reviews, which will be, you know, accurate, you know, interpretations of that anger and of that frustration. So I highly suggest those videos. But I think you kind of see it right here that those shows pissed me off, and this is the aftermath. So, but there's also happiness here too, because I'm happy that Roman Reigns is coming back, and you know, just seeing him, just hearing from him, and, you know, I hope we get a date or something like that, or some, you know, type of confirmation about when he's going to return. I wouldn't hold my breath for it, but, you know. Anyway, very happy that he will be on Raw, and it is obviously going to be a highlight, without a doubt, you know, and maybe they could get an angle out of it. I really doubt that they're going to go back to any Ambrose stuff. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, but Ambrose is leaving anyway, so I think they're just going to completely cool Ambrose down, you know, until he's like a fucking ice cube by the time he leaves, because obviously they're going to try to punish him. And there you go, folks. I mean, yeah, looking forward to it. The product's a fucking mess, but, you know, it'll be something interesting to talk about in the Raw review when Roman Reigns makes his long-awaited return on Raw. You know, it's not an official return, of course, but, you know, he will be returning to the show to talk about his condition and update us, and hopefully, like I said, it's a lot of good news. And there you go, guys, and thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click the bell so you get all the notifications when I post my new videos. And it's been your YWC Champ, and I'm signing out.